Hallows Eve, that time of year again when all creatures of the night are unleashed to the world. It's time to return to where it all started. Another year, but the scares continue. Another month, but the fear proceeds to rise. This is the Venom month of horrors 2, Trapped in Time.
Well, after Child's Play 3 was a bit poopy, Don Mancini and David Kirshner decided that it was time to go back to the drawing board and take the series in a completely different direction, refusing to bring back the character of Andy Barclay for a 4th time. Yeah, that'd be silly.
Yes, sir.
Mancini credited the likes of Scream for reinvigorating the horror genre since the last Chucky film came out, so it opened the door for brand new ideas with this one, and completely reinvent the entire series. And what better way to do that than doll sex?
Oh my god.
They decided to blend horror with comedy and make it a road trip film. It shows Tiffany, played by Jennifer Tilly, who used to be Chucky's lover when he was a human. She finally tracks down his body, stitches him back together and brings him back to life, and then for some reason is shocked when he's still an asshole.
You weren't gonna ask me to marry you?
What are you, fucking nuts?
The hell did she expect was gonna happen?
This is such a load of shit.
So Chucky, as a petty form of revenge for her bullshit, transforms her into a doll, because apparently you can now just do this to absolutely anyone at this point.
Or so I read.
The movie, as the title would suggest, was heavily influenced by Bride of Frankenstein, and Tilly was always the director's first choice for Tiffany, having been impressed with her work in Bound and Bullets Over Broadway. With her involvement, she brought a lot of sexuality to the franchise. This film was the first Chucky movie to portray a gay character, and the sequel would daringly introduce a transgendered character, and in the years that followed, LGBTQ+ characters were frequently used in the films as well as the TV series, and it's thanks mostly in part to Jennifer Tilly. But when you think of diversity and introducing transgenders to a wider community, you most certainly think a superhuman possessed doll peeing their pants.
That is sick.
Tilly and Brad Dourif recorded their voiceovers together to help with chemistry and improvisation. The infamous doll sex scene was completely ad-libbed by both of them, as well as Chucky's line,
Why does that look so familiar?
Filming lasted 12 weeks, and Bride of Chucky was released on October the 16th, 1998, quickly becoming the highest grossing Chucky film in the entire franchise, earning $18.3 million worldwide. But weirdly, to promote the movie, Chucky actually made an appearance on WCW Monday Nitro, interrupting Mean Gene Okerlund and Rick Steiner.
I'm doing love scenes with Jennifer Tilly, and you're calling me a dummy?
Wrestling's weird.
What the fuck?
Upon release, the film wasn't exactly praised by fans and critics, but over time it gained a lot of love, some often considering it to be not only the best sequel in the series, but potentially the best film in the franchise completely. And it's definitely a great one with so many horror throwbacks. You can see Scream's influence. They reference Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees, Freddy Krueger, Leatherface, Twice, Pinhead, The Exorcist. It's a great love letter to the horror genre. And for a dumb comedy, it does genuinely have a great atmosphere. The font for the credits, the cool music. In fact, this film does actually have a killer soundtrack.
That's more like it.
I can't rip on this guy too much. I don't think I could concentrate on the road if I was talking to Jennifer Tilly on the phone either. I'm fairly certain that Jennifer Tilly could read me a Chinese menu and I would still be aroused. I mean, just look at her. No, a bit higher. Her eyes are up there, guys. She's just perfect. I'm gonna go for a cold shower. On a serious note, Tilly nails this role, and who could even argue that she looks amazing? And the sexuality actually does add a sense of charm to the film and its franchise. But this poor guy looks inside this bag and sees the script for Seed of Chucky. You know what? Every single time I like these films, but completely forget that it's based on stupid voodoo magic, and then I'm like, oh yeah, this is really dumb.
Chucky? He's so 80s.
No,
He's
he's
even
not.
scary.
Yes, he is.
Well, at least he will be for one more movie. In fact, I love Chucky in this one. Not only does he have some amazing one-liners.
Ain't big enough to take care of a woman like you.
It ain't the size that counts, asshole. It's what you do with it. Go ahead and shoot! I'll be back. I always come back! But dying is such a bitch.
But the majority of the film is either Chucky being a complete prick to Tiffany, or he's being such an immature and petty douchebag. It's hilarious to see from a serial killer.
Spell woman. E-I-T-C-H.
All right, let's go.
Oh, sure. I'll steer and you can work the pedals.
We're dolls, you dope! Any guy would need a hunk of plastic, probably battery operated, to get a reaction out of you in bed.
Oh, that's so romantic.
I'd give him 6 months.
Stabbings went out with Bundy and Dahmer. You look like Martha Stewart with that thing.
Who the fuck is Martha Stewart?
So how did you end up like this?
Well, it's a long story.
It sure is.
In fact, if it was a movie, it would take 3 or 4 sequels just to do it justice.
Take it from me, honey. Plastic is no substitute for a nice hunk of wood.
I didn't hear her complaining last night.
Catch me, Chucky. I love you, Chucky.
I know. Get off my knife.
This is Chucky at his absolute best in any other installment, and I mean that. He's so immature and petty, he doesn't even kill Tiffany. He decides to just get even and trap her inside a doll body instead. I mean, it's like if Freddy Krueger stole an ice cream from a toddler. It's brilliant. He drinks water from a fish tank to kill it. There's a hilarious part where the humans are trying to figure out who's doing all of the killing, and they're just giggling in the background like children. I mean, she's just as petty, upset that Chucky doesn't want to marry her, so she locks him up and pretends that he's a baby. The movie is hilarious.
All this following us around, is that covered by your regular salary? Or does my uncle pay you extra?
Extra.
The first kill is a bit of a letdown though. He slices a piercing, which is nice, but then he just smothers him with a pillow. Pretty sure the dude could just easily fidget enough to knock Chucky off of him. But I must admit, it is pretty funny how he just sits and has a casual conversation with Tiffany as he slowly dies. John Ritter is in the film, and my god, he plays such a smug dickhead, and he is great at it. And his pinhead death is awesome. I'm calling bullshit that 2 tiny ass dolls are somehow able to lift his entire body though. Oh, and yeah, he somehow survives. Yeah, no. Although it is funny how it's intercut with the worst wedding ever as they try to clean up the evidence.
Congratulations. You may now kiss the bride.
Yeah, I love her so much. Happiest day of my life, I guess. Woo. The direction is great mostly, but sometimes we get these split diopter shots which just look weird. They look like a green screen. This is a pretty cool shot, but it seems a bit wasted. I mean, it's just a random driving shot. Alright, calm down.
You fuck.
I never think the comedy is out of place. It's mixed quite well. Even tiny moments where Tiff is upset and casually curls up next to a dead body. There's a hilarious moment where she casually reveals 2 gruesome corpses as the happiest music ever starts playing and she's just baking cookies. It's amazing. He ends up electrocuting her and it looks insane. This was actually a scene intended for the original film, so at least they finally got their wish. And some of the doll facial expressions are hilarious. The animatronics are brilliant and they do add a sense of character to them. They also decide to completely make everything up as they go along because they also now need an amulet that has never been alluded to in any other film. They even show a photo of what he definitely wasn't wearing in the original movie. But yeah, now they can just transfer bodies willy-nilly. See that fella over there? Yeah, you could be him now. So why the hell did he track down Andy in the first 3 films? He didn't, and then the kid at the military camp, he didn't need him either. They're just making up shit as they go along.
What a crock.
Chucky and Tiff smoke some pot and frame the humans, but...
You know this isn't mine.
You're in a lot of trouble, kid.
Calm down, dude, it's fucking pot. but I'm sorry, the stop motion of Chucky crawling is hilarious. The acting, for the most part, is pretty good. Except for Jesse. Yeah, he's kind of bad.
But I can't do this.
What? I mean, you set us straight. We owe you one.
And I'd also like to present the least convincing radio host of all time award to...
Fingerprints discovered at 2 separate crime scenes have been identified as belonging to Charles Lee Ray.
Congratulations. Jesse and Jade are tricked into taking Chucky and Tiffany to New Jersey, and of course they murder along the way, which leads to them becoming fugitives. But their friend contacts them and informs them that the police are setting up roadblocks. Why would they announce on the news that they're putting up roadblocks? Surely the criminals could then hear this and just evade the roadblocks. These cops suck. But wait, what, the person who marries them doesn't recognise them from the news? This swinger couple jump in and they don't recognise them either. Just nobody has heard about the murder spree that's going on? But I have to admit, the swinger dude's reaction right before he dies is fucking hilarious. And I love how this brutal death takes place and it turns Chucky and Tiffany on. The former even using a severed finger to propose. And enjoy some hilarious sex jokes.
I'm crying. I wonder if all the plumbing works.
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm starting to feel like Pinocchio here.
Oh, and they even got Kathy Najimy in this. Because why wouldn't you get Kathy Najimy in a Chucky movie? I'm just saying, you're being accused of murder and are on the run. Would you really still bother with the damn dolls? They end up accusing each other, but sometimes the acting is so cheesy, it's kind of funny. But the murders literally follow them everywhere they go. It is impossible that they would drop the accusations and think it might be someone else. There's no reason they wouldn't suspect one another. And I love how Jesse doesn't even act surprised when he finds out that the dolls are alive. In fact, some of the reactions in this film are brilliant. Oh. The production team outdid themselves here. Tiff ends up getting roasted in an oven and it looks insane. This does go from goofy comedy to terrifying horror pretty damn quickly. They end up visiting Chucky's grave for the amulet, but man, his skeleton looks surprisingly fresh considering he's been dead for an entire decade. Fair play to Jesse though, he happily takes a knife for his woman. That's a good man.
Give me the power, I beg of you.
Now, I can't help but feel like this scene looks somewhat familiar. It's almost like I've seen it 4 times before. But watching 2 dolls fight to the death is pretty damn funny, I can't lie. Oh my god, I love you so much. I missed you. Oh, I'm so glad I married you. Yay.
No one's ever gonna believe this, you know that.
That's not a green screen, what you on about? And have a disturbing doll going into labour for a cliffhanger for the next film. The movie is amazing. It's gory and sometimes quite scary, but it also doesn't take itself too seriously. It knows it's a dark comedy, and my word does it deliver as one. It's fucking hilarious, and it's certainly carried by Brad Dourif, but that doesn't mean the others don't hold their own. Tilly and Dourif have some great chemistry, and the franchise seem to be finally back on the right track. You're in a lot of trouble. A fucking clock. Yes, it's 9 o'clock. Very good. It's got to spin the fucking timer. It's going to do this every hour. Come on, it's 9 o'clock. That's it, yes.
You have fun with that while you're filming your 12 videos for